So I wanted to answer some of the most frequently asked questions that I've been getting with all my discovery calls to help you make a decision and see if this is the right fit for you. So first off, I would love for you to know that every lesson your child gets with us, whether it's a private lesson or a group lesson, consists of three main parts. The first is vocal technique, which is really a fancy way of just saying how to sing, how to really use your body, specifically your abdominal muscles, your core, your legs, to be the muscles of power for your voice, for singing and for speech. And I really like to introduce these ideas from the very beginning. So whether you have a 2-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever that starting point is, we're gonna go ahead and give them the technique from the start. The second part is expressing, really being the actor, the story of the song. So using your facial expressions, your hands, your gestures, your entire body to help tell the story of the song and make that meaning of the song. So many of our kids know all the words, but they haven't actually taken the time to understand what those words mean. So we're adding to our vocabulary, we're thinking about what the meaning of the words, and we're thinking about how to express the words. We also think about the phrasing, and which is really for each line that you say, how you can say it. Just like an actor, you could say the same line in many ways. The final piece is music literacy. So for singers, it's much like any other instrumentalist, except that you can't just hit a button on us where we're going to be able to play that note. So it's much more important for us as singers to really understand the relationships between the notes and the patterns. Once they go to reading something on the page, for example, if I have this here where I've written out so, mi, so, mi, but they already have that concept. They know what this language is, what the so means. They understand that this is a skip. They can visually see that we're skipping from a line to a line. And the other part of it is the rhythms, so that we've been working separately without the staff, just very simple, giving them some cards where they become the composer and where they start to write ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Okay, so there are steps to this process. First, just working with the rhythm, creating their own rhythms, understanding the difference between the rhythm, which is the way the words go, the short and longs of music, and the steady beat, like a heartbeat, where it's giving you that steady pulse underneath. So these are all really important fundamental concepts for all levels of musicians. Steady beat, the rhythm, and then our melodic work. And it opens up a world for them where they can learn how to read, where they can see this, have zero help from any other instruments or people, and just imagine and know what this sounds like. It's very exciting, it's very cool to see. What age should your child start? I recommend starting whenever you see that your child is really interested, really loves to sing, and is willing to learn. Those are the two requirements that I have. It doesn't matter if your child sings in tune or out of tune. It's really just about them truly loving it and wanting to learn, and they will be fine. They will find their way. For early childhood, we have specialized teachers who really have a specific background, not only in singing, not only in vocal technique and teaching, but actually with these specific age groups. So what that means is your child is going to experience a short class that is much like being in a music class. They're going to be singing different songs, playing games, a lot of turn taking, a lot of echo singing, a lot of imagination and storytelling, some puppets, some books, all of these things that are going to be weaved in to both spark their imagination, keep them engaged, much faster pacing. There's going to be a lot more activities. Then at the same time, giving them the vocal tools that they need, a really healthy vocal model in their teacher. And then we're going to be listening specifically to make sure that they're developing their head voice, that's their upper register, and making that nice and strong, which will then translate into really easy, free high notes, better singing in tune, many things that come out of that. And in these years, we are really going to be looking more like a traditional voice lesson, but just paired for their age group. Then we're going to just listen to them as far as what really speaks to their heart, really makes them want to sing. And we're going to take that and then we're going to infuse it with the vocal technique that's going to give them really healthy singing throughout what they're doing. So it does mean that they won't be singing it quite like the pop stars yet until they are really strong enough as a singer and those muscles are strong enough where they can do it in a healthy way. A lot of children at this age are either they've loved it, they've sort of had it in the background singing, but they haven't really explored it yet, so that's one population. There could be just a regular, nice little small group for them that could work well, or some private lessons to give them the tools that they need. And then the majority of kids at this age, this is something that they really know that they love, that they want to foster even more. They've already been auditioning for different shows, and maybe they haven't gotten the part that they wanted. So for this age group, we're really looking to, again, give them confidence through building the tools, understanding the mechanics of the voice, and how to practice in a way that's going to really give them ownership of the process, help their voice be strong, and get them the parts they want in the shows. For a lot of 8th graders who have to audition for a performing arts high school, same as auditioning for shows, but a little bit more specific in that you have to do some melodic and rhythmic things to just show them your overall musicality. Whatever it is that your singer needs at this age, be it just for shows or for school entries, we can help them. Most of them, this is something that they are now specializing in, that they really love to sing. Some of them are thinking about doing this professionally. Some of them are thinking about getting into college programs, and others, this is just a really passionate hobby where they want to feel really good. Maybe they're singing in a choir and they want to make sure that they're singing in a way that's going to be able to get them through all the rehearsals, all of the long rehearsals that happen when you're in a choir, when you're doing a show that require many days, being on point for a long period of time. You know, at this point you're running a marathon, not a sprint, so you really have to train in a way that prepares you so that you know how to take care of yourself, you know how to stay vocally healthy, that you're drinking water, you're getting rest, and that you're singing in a way and practicing in a way that's just going to help you with that sustainability and achieve the sort of interpretation and power that you want from your voice, so that the roles that you're doing or the choruses that you're in, you can really bring your full self to it without feeling like you have to sacrifice yourself or push too hard or strain. We always want to avoid that. Both extremely valuable, and for those singers who are usually older and or more serious about singing, as in maybe they have a show that they're auditioning for, or they are thinking about doing this professionally and they really want to get the most training possible, they will actually do both because there are tremendous benefits to both types of lessons. Either a 30-minute, 45-minute, or 60-minute lesson with your teacher, and you're going to divide that time still between the 3 parts of vocal technique, song study, and music literacy. However, that time that you get on vocal technique will dive deeper and longer than it would if you were in a group lesson. I often recommend private lessons to singers who either are very nervous and shy and really need a little bit of a boost and extra support before they can move into a group lesson, or if somebody just really loves it and really just knows that they work better one-on-one, that they just want this private study as a time for themselves, that could be a great fit. Group lessons are wonderful because they offer a combination of what you get in a private lesson, which is that solo time where you're singing your song and you're getting personalized feedback from the teacher. It's just a smaller dose. So when you're in that group lesson, most of our lessons, if it's a 50-minute lesson, you're going to get 5 to 7 minutes of that private time where others are watching and engaged, practicing perhaps what you're singing, but on mute, and practicing their version of it while you're having that one-on-one time with the teacher, back and forth, and really refining different parts. Once you've decided YSA is the place for your child, we have some different options for you. The first that I wholeheartedly recommend is our year-long program, which is divided into 2 terms. This really gives you and your child a chance to really dig in, really get to know their body and how to use it as a musical instrument, which takes time just like it would for any other instrument or sport. So this means that you would purchase a semester, and in that semester there are going to be a few things. There's going to be a set amount of weeks where you're getting your lessons, and that would be either private lessons or a group lesson, so a certain amount of weeks where that's happening. And there would be 1 studio recital, which is students only recitals, that happens per month. This gives kids a chance, whether they're in the group lessons or private lessons, to get to know each other, to understand that they're part of a much larger community here. It's really exciting over time, over many years, to be able to watch kids grow up, to have the big kids see the little ones and support them on their journey, to have the little kids look up to the big kids and think, wow, that person's got an amazing voice. And to know that's because they've been studying for many years, they've put in that time and that work, and really that hard work does always pay off. And then at the end of the year, we have our annual recital, where it's a little bit more formal, where we feel like we have a whole year to celebrate our growth and to have learned from each other. So that happens at the end of the year, the big recital. For anybody who is about to audition for a show, who's in a show, and needs a little extra support. So you have your regular weekly lesson, but it's getting to be crunch time and you need a little bit extra. Or if you have some intonation issues and you just need a little bit more support up front of how to learn to sing in tune, these are great ways, and you could get a 30-minute, a 45-minute, an hour lesson pack, 5 or 10 lessons that you can use at your discretion. They don't expire. You can go ahead and use them as needed to help support your learning and your growth. It's great if you're on vacation and you need a little something to do that's educational and constructive to keep them going, or just you want to support your growth that's already there in place. It can also be used for families who feel like maybe we're still on the fence and we're not exactly sure if we want to do an entire year or just a term. We can just start with a little 5-pack as sort of a taster and just a weigh-in and see if that makes sense for you.